Welcome to the Trading Lounge and the European indices. We'll cover the Stock 50 and the DAX. And as you know, we've called wave 4 low in here for global indices. And it'll be nice to see, I'm sure that we will see some support on this major trading level here, this 3,000 here for this market. But as it stands at the moment, wave 3 up here, an A wave, a B wave, and a nice 5 waves here to complete wave C of wave 4. And now we're seeing a nice impulse wave push to the upside. So just cutting in here into the 2-hour chart here. So keeping it very sort of simple here is we've been tracking 5 waves up for wave 1, an A and a B and a C, for wave 2, and now we're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, which will probably come up here a bit further. And yeah, the 61.8% will come back in at 2.9 here roughly. We can drill down into that. But the main point here is that this market is testing this particular number, and yes, it will create a little high above it or whatever, but it will come back, and once it sits on it this time round, then that will be the perfect timing for buying. So let's just see where the top is in here. From this low here, we've got 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we've got 1 and 2 and 3, there'll be a little 4 and a 5 up here, then the ABC. So once we've got that high in, we can find out where the 61.8% is, but we also need to be mindful too that large numbers like 3,000 here can skew the wave counts a little bit. So in your own time and pace, then ask yourself the question, is this market supported or not? So we're looking for the first high above the level, then a corrective process, then support. If you can work out the A, B and C here as a 5, 3, 5 structure here, 5 waves in wave C here, then you can buy on the low here and continue to add all the way up into wave 3 here. In fact, on the DAX, we're already long from 9,500 yesterday. So let's have a look at the DAX here. Just on the daily chart, while it's here and all squashed up, it's interesting in the fact that this is the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree over here. So we've had wave 3 here, an A and a B and a C, looking for wave 4 here to pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree. So pretty much sort of spot on there. And also too, tracking the 5 waves down in this market was much easier in the European markets than it was in the US markets. The only market that had a really nice clean top for a B wave and 5 waves down here was the Russell 2000. Most of the S&P and the rest of them it was all a little bit complex really. Wave 4, so we've got wave 1 and wave 2 in play here. So we'll just cut into the 2-hour chart, then the 15-minute chart. But you can see that we've got a fair way to move up. But also too, within all of this too, we have 10,000 that we need to get through here. But in a nutshell, we've got from the low here, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2. And then I was looking at this here as 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 here. Now wave 4 could also be in here as well. Okay, so not quite sure about that, but basically 1 and 2 and wave 3, wave 4, and then wave 5 up for wave 1 here, then the A, the B and the C here for wave 2. So from wave 1, wherever that high comes in, then wave 2 can come back 50 or 60%. So we're expecting a reaction from the trendline channel, from the 10,000 and so on. Also 9, 8 here, 8's a profit-taking number, so expect to see corrections there as well. On the 15-minute chart, we can get a bit more detail with this. So as I mentioned, I've got wave 2 here. I'll just squash this up so you've got your bearings as much as I can get in, really. Anyway, ABC for wave 2 here. Then, it's possible to have wave 2 here. That's also possible, and that means that we'd have 5 waves from this low up to 9, 8 here, which would see a correction from that point there. But for the time being, I've got a wave 2 here, so 5 waves here for wave 1, ABC for wave 2 here, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and looking for the top of the 5th for the 3rd here. and the fourth will pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree, or 38.2% retracement, wherever that comes into. Let's just have a quick little look here, but you'll be able to get the high here. Let's just put that in there. So the 38 point comes back into, this sort of area anyway, so just be a little bit mindful of that. And because the extension's in wave 3 here, that means that wave 1 here and wave 5 can be roughly the same length. If that's not the case, then wave 5 will be 61.8% of wave 3. So you can get that distance, get 61.8%, pop it onto the bottom of wave 4, and that'll give you your extension to the upside. You can also get your extension from the distance from wave 3 to wave 4. There's lots of different ways to go about getting the ratio there, but as always, more important to count those 5 little waves to the upside in the 5th wave here. But that's where we're going for. Yesterday we talked about going long here on the 9.5, and let's just sort of go back over that entry. So first of all, we were looking at this high here. If that's breached, that's where you start from, and then then you bring it down to the next level here, and then we've got this high here that came into play from a reaction here. But you don't know that. I mean, you got these 5 waves here, whatever. But yeah, so this is at the last point. This is where you would need to be long from. If you understood how what the correction was, then you can move in from that point, and you may have even gotten in at the 9.4 here. So there's plenty of space to get in, and different ways to get in as well. I always try and keep it as simple as possible, but there's obviously a lot more that can be done. Now, the question that you'll have to decide is that this technically shouldn't come. The market shouldn't come back to this point here. So looking to add on to this onto the 10,000 would also be a nice way to move with this too, if you can handle the heat and you haven't overtraded with all of this. Otherwise, continue to duck and dive. But let's just play the trend in this instance. You might want to get out at 9.8, or you may want to hold through that and get to the next level. But even from this next level here, it can come back to this point here. So, it's just strategy, depending on what you want to do, so to speak. So, but anyway, we'll just see if we play the long trade or take 50% at the 10,000. Nothing really matters, of course. But the main purpose is that you understand that. Go back to the daily chart here. Understand that you've got a position in the third of the third wave here. Okay, so this can take us much higher if you wanted to sort of navigate and get through and handle the heat on the 10,000. So I'll leave that with you. This patch here, this box here, this rectangle, that's a 61.8% mark, 50-60 from the wave 3 high here. The other one that would need to navigate as well is the 61.8% from the previous wave here as well. So that's going to come in a little bit lower here. So I think that we should put that in there so we can have a bit of a look at it. So we've got this one coming into play here. So that might help with the third and the fourth here. The other point too here that we can make too is that if we get a move up here, then see this wave 1 here that comes across here. Yep, that means that a move up into here gives us an overlapping wave structure with wave 1 here, and then that helps us create the confidence that we're in the bullish run from there. Because if this market was going to fail, then it's going to fail from around this level here, in some way. So, as 5 waves here, we get a 3-wave retracement level to this area here, and then fade from that area there. Moving through that low of wave 1 coming down here is a very sort of healthy thing for the upside here. All right, that's it really. We're on track. We're long. We're heading higher, and all's good. Cheers.